So all of us have certain characteristics. When I think of Annette, when I read about her, I think she's very creative. She has a proven editorial and content experience when it comes to content creation, with over 15 years of experience creating strategies to build audience, create brand awareness, and generate revenue for the companies that she's worked with. She's currently working with one of the fastest growing companies in the world, which was declared as a unicorn recently. Let's welcome Annette on 10 Minutes of Hiding Wisdom, where she will tell us about where she's currently working, what she does, and what are some tips that she would have for job seekers out there. Hi, Annette. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, Annette. So, can you tell us about where you're currently working, what your role is with the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So I work for Lattice, which is a B2B SaaS HR software company that really focuses on like the front office of HR, which is performance management, performance reviews, employee surveys, and employee development. So this is all the touchy-feely stuff. We call it a people management platform. I've been here about 2 years, and I work on the marketing team, and I run our content, community, and customer marketing department within marketing.
Okay. And how did you end up at this company? How did you find out about it? How was your journey like?
It's such a wild journey. This is really, honestly, my very first explicit content marketing
And
role.
you're the head.
Well,
Congratulations.
I have spent, close to 20 years like working in content strategy, audience development, mostly on the media side. So I worked for companies like CNET, Yahoo, Fandom, where we were all just like trying to use content to create revenue and attract audiences. And when I started looking for my next role, this role really spoke to me because our former head of marketing, who has since left to do his own company, his whole dream was to create a media company within Lattice that would build enthusiasm and audience and excitement for what we're making here at Lattice.
Okay, and you mentioned that you were in a previous role and then you decided that you wanted to pursue something else.
Yes.
So, a lot of people, I think, specifically, are scared of transition, are scared of change. What caused you to realize that you wanted to pursue something different than your initial role?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would say very selfishly, the media business is a very tough business. And I was really just a little sick of closing websites that I had helped build and create. And it's just so hard to make money on selling ads around content, to be very, very frank. And so after a lot of years of doing this for a lot of companies, I realized it's actually my passion is around storytelling and is around creating content that creates value for people, and building communities that create connection. So I realized when I met Alex, who was our former head of marketing here at Lattice, who recruited me to come on board, I realized that that's something that I could very easily do with the right mission. And Lattice has such a fantastic product and a fantastic mission, all very like purpose-driven company that's all around like making work meaningful for people. We want to build people-centric companies is sort of like what we tell all of our customers. And it's entirely behind everything we build. So when I came on board and started talking to the team, I realized this is where I can take my decades, I suppose, of content creation and content management and build out a team here that can do that storytelling really for the right purpose. So
I'm glad.
it's just a nice connection there.
I'm glad you ended up at a company where you're valued for your work rather than having to shut down websites that you had created, because I think
You said
there's so
it.
much personalization and it's like you're growing a baby and then you have to shut it down. Like,
Yeah.
how do you do that? It must, as in, like, it must be really emotional. And I'm glad you're at a company where you're being valued for your creativity, for the work that you produce, and you're surrounded by people who you actually inspire through your creativity. So I'm glad that things worked out for you on it.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And Anna, I love to hear regarding Lattice. So, what is it like working at Lattice? What is the company's culture? Can you tell more about that?
Absolutely. So I do believe that we're a company that tries to practice what we preach. We're always trying to encourage companies to be people centric and build great cultures. And that is what we're trying to do every day here at Lattice. When I joined, especially after so many years in the media industry and honestly, in the tech industry, working in Silicon Valley, I definitely had not ever worked at a company that was this positive, this inspirational on that front. And it really starts at the top. Our executive team, especially our CEO, Jack Altman, really have an egoless approach to growing this business and really, really wants to make this a company where people want to bring their best self to work. When I came on board, I really joked with my husband and like, I can't believe how positive everyone is here. Like, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop and for things to become really, oh, I'm going to discover the toxic underbelly. It really isn't there. It really isn't there. And it's 2 years in, I still haven't discovered it. It's really one of the most positive companies I've ever worked for, incredibly supportive, really pushes managers to be as communicative as possible, give a lot of feedback, and support their people. It's an incredibly transparent company. Our CEO is constantly giving us a lot of insight into like what the executive team is doing, what we're communicating with the board. I feel like it's a company without secrets in a weird way. And I deeply appreciate it every day I come to work.
That's good. I think specifically because it's a fast-growing
Yeah,
company, there's usually so much going on, and transparency, I think, helps you feel a part of something.
absolutely.
And I do follow your CEO, and I do read his posts. I think recently he posted something regarding watching his kids growing up and
Yes.
how it's harder than doing a tech job. So he's definitely really funny, and
Yeah,
I'm sure being surrounded by such inspiring people who aren't just focused on work, but are more focused on creating a
that's right.
culture where everyone
Yeah.
can learn is something that's so important. So I'm glad, Anna, you ended up at a company where you're enjoying, you come to work every day knowing that you're part of something that's greater than you. So I'm glad
Oh,
things
thank
worked
you.
out for you. Of course. And Anna, the last question would be, because you've had such an amazing career in marketing, content creation, what are some tips that you have for people who want to pursue a career in marketing but don't know where to start?
It's tough because it depends on where you want to start, right? So for B2B marketers, there's like a very different track than like B2C marketers, and like wanting to be
Uh-huh.
marketing for like something like a consumer brand like Nike or Coca-Cola is super different from the type of customer that you're marketing to on like B2B SaaS, for example. So I think you have to sort of make smart decisions about the types of audiences you want to work with, and just make decisions about, what you what's important to you in terms of like your lifestyle, your needs, the pathway, the different roles that are within marketing for each. Um, I think a lot of people who go into marketing immediately gravitate towards those sexier brands like the B2C, like Nikes and so on. And like there's like plenty of fantastic work on that side. I think it's really difficult to do that stuff. I I would it's definitely like fun and flashy, but there is something very satisfying about the B2B side, just if folks are trying to decide which side to go with. Um, just because the B2B SaaS side really does actually help and impact a lot of people, because a lot of the software and a lot of things that we're creating are things that people have to use every single day of their lives. So I just think about like doing B2B SaaS marketing for Salesforce, just think about how many people that impacts. So it's a wild ride. There's a lot of like cool opportunities. One of the things I get to do on this side is we're about to throw our first another uh, virtual conference. And we're going to have as speakers Serena Williams and Adam Grant and some like amazing
Oh, wow.
talent. So I'm yeah, there are a lot of fun, sexy things that can be done on our side of the world as well. And super proud of what we've accomplished here.
Definitely. I think it's very important of how you
Yeah.
look at things. And for some people, it would be appealing towards going towards the B2C side, whereas for some people, it
Yeah.
would be B2B. But I think you definitely need to look at your strengths and weaknesses and see where you lay, and then maybe go and take that approach. So thank you so
Of
much for sharing
course.
that. And that conference definitely sounds amazing. And I
Yeah.
hope it works out well. But Annette, other than that, it was an absolute pleasure having you as a guest. Our time is up, but thank you so much for coming on the show, for sharing about your journey. And I am really glad you ended up at a company where you're currently being valued for your work and the impact that you make on
Thanks
other
so
people.
much.